Welcome to Kathy's Renewed You.
Hi, I'm Kathy Stoddard-Torrey, and today I want to talk about presence. Not the kind you give, but your ability to be in the moment. The idea came up. I'm taking some continuing education classes for my coaching accreditation, and in it we were talking about the importance of being present with a client. I mean, really listening at we call them listening levels 1, 2, and 3. Listening level 1, you're really listening to your own head and your own voices. Listening level 2, you're paying attention. If you think about it as a flashlight, listening level 1 is here. Listening level 2 is on the person, but not really paying attention to the whole picture. And in listening level 3, it's like a huge spotlight, and like you've jumped over with them. You're completely present and listening to what they're saying, hearing the tone in their voice, the messages that are sort of carried along with the words. That's what's involved in being totally present. And we don't get that very often. I mean, really think about it. When we talk to people, we're doing something else, we're keying something in on the computer, or we're thinking about something else. I mean, really, truly having someone present, I mean, really in the moment listening to you is very rare, and it's a wonderful gift. If you can be present with someone and really make them feel heard and seen, it's a fabulous ability and a wonderful gift for the other person. In coaching, we have to be present. I mean, in coaching, it's a requirement to be absolutely present and listening to your client, because you can't give them feedback, you can't be helpful or useful. I mean, it is all about the relationship. Now, in leadership is all about creating positive relationships. And so really you can't create a positive relationship with someone if you're not listening to them. If you don't have the ability to make them feel like you are listening and focused on them, then it's really hard to create a positive relationship. So this is also an important skill for that. And really, it has broader applications, because any relationship that you're in, if you want it to be a positive relationship, you need to be able to be present in the moment, fully listening to the other person. So we were having this discussion, about the importance of being present and da 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 da. And I thought, well, you don't just sit down and say, okay, I'm going to be present now. It takes practice. It's a skill, and like any other skill, you have to practice it, because it requires self-management and self-discipline to be able to focus your mind and your attention. So it's not just something that you can sit down and do any more than you can just go out and play golf without practicing. You have to pay attention to the skill, and you have to practice it. So how do you practice presence? It's really practicing focusing of your mind. And what that's called is mindfulness, being in the moment. And these exercises, they seem super simple when you hear them and see them. You're like, well, that can't be all that hard. They actually are a little bit hard to do, but hugely beneficial if you can learn to focus your mind on what you want to focus your mind on, even if that something is nothing. All right, that's what meditation is about, is being able to sit in a calm and relaxed state and focus on nothing. Right? So it's exercise for your mind that's super, super useful in a lot of different areas. So what do? There's lots of different things. The most basic is to sit and pay attention to your breath. All right, to sit, pay attention to the air as it comes in your nose, as you feel your lungs fill up. Concentrate on the air going in. All right, and then you focus on the air coming back out again. You feel it coming out through your mouth, so that your mind is focused solely on the breathing. If it starts to go off on what you need to do, what you're having for dinner or something like that, just bring it back to your breathing. And back out again. That's its most simple. I just read another exercise that said to pay attention to at the end of each breath. At the top, pay attention to that little space between in and out, and then out, and when you come back in again. So see, it can be super, super simple. I just ordered these, as a matter of fact, and I do like them. It's called Growing Mindful, and their exercises are just little cards, stuff you can do anytime that you want to practice some mindfulness. The first one is something that elementary schools usually teach, and it's called stop. Stop what you're doing, take a breath, observe your inner and outer worlds, right? How are you feeling? What are you thinking on the inside? And then observe the things around you that are going on from an objective perspective. Try not to attach a lot of emotion to them, and then proceed. All right, that one's just sort of a quick switch. It's actually also a piece of emotional intelligence, something that we get people to do, so that it's a self-management technique. So instead of reacting quickly, it's a stop, take a breath, observe what's going on, and then proceed. So that's a super simple one to kind of switch you into self-management. Another one, all right, this is the stillness of the breath, paying attention to in, starts to go out. It's just an extra thing to pay attention to in that one. Now this one, I like this one. Okay, so you can do it with me. It says, place your index finger on your forehead. All right, so we're going to place our fingers in the middle of our forehead, and then notice the sensations of your finger and your forehead, the temperature, the texture, the moisture. It's all about getting you to notice. So if we were going to do that one, we would put our fingers on our foreheads and then pay attention. I feel the pressure of my finger on my forehead. My forehead is warm and smooth, and my finger can feel that my forehead is warm. A little bit damp, it's a little warm in here. So you're noticing all those things, and you're learning to focus your mind on one thing. Mindfulness is getting pretty big everywhere. Marines are practicing mindfulness. It seems to be helping with a lot of the stress that they face in the various situations that they're in. They'll have Marines, and I do this in my leadership classes, stare at a raisin, right? So first you just sit and stare, and anytime you find your mind wandering away from the raisin, you just bring it back, and then you start paying attention to the raisin again. And then you can actually pick up and eat the raisin, and then you're paying attention to the texture and the taste, what it feels like in your mouth. So almost anything that you're doing, you can turn into a mindfulness practice. All right, so let's go back to presence. The mindfulness exercises are what help us learn to self-manage our minds and be completely present when we're listening to someone else. Now this, I said it before, but I'm going to emphasize it again. We just don't get it very much. And being quiet and being present with yourself is also a gift to yourself. So the ability to be present and to be present with others is the biggest gift, really, that you can give someone else. And it's also one of the biggest gifts that you can give to yourself.